and welcome to Forum Fusion, a platform created to educate and entertain you with thought provoking discussions from me, Messi McAfee, and
Esperance, hi, hello.
yes,
From Esperance in Sabbatical, for
absolutely,
those who follow me over there. But yes, I'm here with Mercy.
yes.
Thank you
And
for having me.
today we will be hearing, about his adventurous trip to Ghana and
Mhm.
how the experience has been so far.
Hmm.
Yes. So
Hmm.
my grandmother will say, over to you, Jolati.
Over to me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold on to that. But it was quite an interesting experience.
What made you say, okay, let me go to Ghana and just explore this amazing country?
Yeah. No, for starters, I love exploring new places.
Okay.
And ideally, if I have enough strength, hopefully, I will probably maybe visit most of the region of the world, not
Okay.
to say the whole world. So, with that spirit, you have to start somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. Then, I happen to have business dealing in Nigeria.
Okay.
That's the first time I went a few years back. And then because I was in the region and then I was hopping from one country to another, I said, why not Ghana?
Why not
Why
Ghana?
not Ghana?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I visited Ghana. That was my first time. It was a very dramatic experience. I spent 24 hours inside an immigration uh, thing. Yeah,
Oh
24
my
hours.
goodness.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I should have known. I really should have known. You know how I am with my passport, right?
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I make sure that I carry it everywhere I go.
Mm.
But then, if I know I'm going to go to some places that are a bit on the outskirts,
Mm.
then I would rather just maybe keep it in a hotel or where I'm lodged. I would
Yes.
rather keep it there like locked
Where
away and
you
stuff
know
like
that this is where I can find
exactly.
it. Okay.
So yeah. Now here I find myself in the Volta region
Of Ghana.
of Ghana. Find myself in the Volta region. Boom, around I think after Sugakope, right after Sugakope. So I found myself there, and then I went to I think I went to Aflao.
Okay.
Like Aflao town there. So
Yeah.
Aflao literally borders Togo.
Mhm.
Yes. So when you leave Accra, whenever you leave Accra or a big city to the borders of Ghana,
Yeah.
there is no stop. You can just go through.
Okay.
But when you come back,
Mm.
there is always a checkpoint.
Okay.
So I wasn't aware of that.
Why don't they check you when you entering, but when you coming out?
No,
Do you know why?
no. I think maybe when you're leaving, they're expecting you to just be going, so they don't really care. But because those are the roads that are leading to the main cities, from borders, you find soldiers who are checking cars coming in. That's
Oh,
what they
okay,
do.
okay. So you check when you're getting in, but when you coming
Yes.
out.
So on your way, for instance, from Aflao to Accra,
Yeah.
if you leaving Accra to Aflao, you will pass right through, and then there are immigrations, but they don't even check. They don't bother because you're exiting. But for you to come back inside on that lane, you will meet immigration, right? You
Okay.
get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like on the way to Accra, you will meet immigration. So now here I am, coming from Aflao, heading to Accra, Tema. Then, uh, yeah, then, yeah. There was a checkpoint. The first checkpoint, I think it was the police or something. We went through, and then the second one, they were immigration agents.
Okay. Were you traveling in a trotro, a
Yes,
taxi?
yes. I'm always in trotro,
I love
in
trotro.
small little, like it's
Yeah, in your own
fascinating, isn't it?
corner, inside
Yeah,
the trotro.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
I love traveling in trotro.
Yeah, and one thing I love with traveling in trotro is that you're sitting there and then you are surrounded by people.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like they don't even know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm just
Yet
observing
you're
them
so
like,
close to each other.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was in the front row. So we get there, we get to the checkpoint, and then the immigration guys come and they talk to the driver,
Yeah.
and then there's a transaction going, you know.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. As,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. I understand what you
you
mean.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. So, and then after that, after the moment, the immigration guys come to the car
Mm.
and says, everybody show off your card, like your card or your passport or something, something. Like, shucks.
Where's my
I haven't,
passport?
yeah, I don't have it. I haven't got it, you know, like, really, I don't have it because I can't,
Wow.
yeah. And then it's like, they're like, okay, please come out. And you know, uh, yeah, okay, it's their way of doing things, which is a bit strange because I think they were trying to intimidate or something. I don't really know,
Okay.
but
Okay.
anyway, that's besides the point. So I get down, and then there was a lady in the car there also who was like, "No, let me come down with you," like, because she wanted to speak to them in English and stuff like that. But it didn't work out anyway. So they let the car go
Without you.
without me, yeah, and then I had to remain there. So because I was coming from the border side of town, they had to take me like it's like I've entered Ghana illegally or
Okay.
something like that. So they took me all the way back to Abu Aflao, but to the border, to the immigration office.
Oh my word.
Yeah, because I told them, look, my passport is in Accra.
Yeah.
Alright, it is
So
in
why
Accra.
are they taking you back if your passport
Because I
is
don't
in
have a
Accra?
passport. So I have to go back with them, and then when I get there,
Mm.
then they will send my passport. So whoever is in Accra, I have to find ways for my passport to reach me from Accra to
To apply
Flower.
border.
So yeah, so it was a Saturday. It was about like 4 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I sit there. I spend my night there.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just sitting there.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry you had to go through that
It was
in our beloved country.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
quite an experience, you know. At the time as it happened, I was really disappointed, and you see, this is where I was also like, and then I think I started even campaigning for like the free movement of people and stuff because this is my experience, but I'm
Yeah.
sure there are people who
Who
live around here who
Who have
experience
also
this,
experienced
No.
similar
yeah,
issues.
similar issues. So
Yeah.
I had to wait for like almost 24 hours because you know the bus had to go to, like, somebody had to put the passport in the bus.
Yeah.
Bus had to come, which was to be on a Sunday, you know, the Sunday morning, and
Yeah.
the time it arrived, so blah, 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 blah. But anyway, it was that. But yeah, it was a bit, I won't say traumatic, but it was for somebody who's coming in the country first
For the
and wants
first
to
time.
explore,
Yeah.
it's not really a good sight.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why they would like to be cautious. You know,
I do, I really do.
I do understand why they would like to be cautious. And I think right now that's why advocating for borderless, movements across these African countries is quite important.
Mm,
And there has to be more conversation based on this issue.
mm,
And I mean, I for one, I would really love,
mm.
this free movements of our own people, our own African brothers and sisters,
Yeah,
being
yeah,
able
yeah.
to move around
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
visit these beautiful countries of ours.
It is. It actually is. Remember, I told you, and for the second time, oh, you did ask me before what made me visit Ghana, and then we went a whole shit story. But coming back to that, I don't know if I mentioned to you once before that the second time I went to Ghana, actually, then I went from Accra, I went to Aflao, and then I wanted to go to Togo.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was also my second time in Togo. So I wanted to go to Togo, and then I needed a visa to go to Togo.
Mm.
Now the visa for my passport is like around $80,
Okay.
and then the things that I wanted to buy in Togo in a Sigame market were about like $10.
Mm.
So you mean to tell me that I am gonna have to get a $80 passport. I mean $80 visa in my
To
passport.
get a $10 product.
You get what I'm saying? It doesn't really make sense at all. So I think people are supposed to be moving freely,
Yeah.
and yeah, it doesn't really make sense. But
And I think that topic is something that we will be talking about, quite
yeah,
often because, I mean, we both passionate about
yeah,
having people, and if we were to visit other countries, we wouldn't want to be restricted
yeah,
in one particular area
yes,
just because you need a visa to.
yeah. I do agree with you because mind you, you have those who visit and then uh, no, it doesn't make sense. Before I'm losing my train of thought, but I'm coming back to first the visa, and then I'm gonna come back to the point of moving.
Okay.
So the point with the visa is this, all right? So I want to go. Let's say, for instance, I want to go to 5 countries, all right? If I want to go to Ghana, I'm gonna need a visa. If I want to get to Ivory Coast, it's a visa.
Yeah.
Go to Burkina Faso, visa. If I want to go to Mali, visa, and these are neighboring countries, right?
Yeah.
So, and then let's add in another country. Let's say Niger, 5 countries. I need 5 visas. My passport has 32 pages.
Yeah.
All right. Now this already is like 5 pages of my passport to visiting neighboring countries.
Yeah.
And then on top of it is, remember, I have to be stamped in and out of all those countries, which will take me roughly about 12 pages. And we have 55 countries in Africa. So you can't visit all the African countries with one passport.
Yeah.
And the cost of visa on the person applying is just astronomical. It doesn't really make sense,
Yeah.
And I think
But how do you think, with this recent free entry, free visa to some African countries, do you think it's going to impact the country negatively in terms of their finances?
no, on the contrary, I think, when you allow people to move free within a region, you are empowering them in a sense, like because they can move goods, they can move services. And then, what you can find here that you cannot find there can be, easily transferable, So I think, in that sense, really allowing free entry is important. But the question again remains, because it's Africa, is implementation.
Yeah.
Is it really implemented? Because you have these countries who have like visa free. I don't know if I mentioned the case of Zimbabwe and South Africa, and that was a Zimbabwean telling me that although they have visa free to enter South Africa, whenever they get to the border, they have to pay.
Okay.
And it's not
And
just
they are Zimbabweans
They are
coming to
Zimbabweans.
South Africa.
Yes, South Africans. And the same as well. The South African going to Zimbabwe, you get to the border, the Zimbabwean border, you've got to pay,
Yeah.
but it's visa free.
Wow.
You see, it doesn't really make sense because on paper you're supposed to move freely, but in reality you are not able to do that. And it's not just limited to that; it's throughout the continent, especially
You
like
find
border.
this kind of.
It's like that.
Okay.
Yeah, sadly, it is like that.
Wow. I think as they started this, they need to look at that part of, the implementation of this visa free to make sure that people don't take money from the back door, without.
Yes, I think they should look at it, but the problem is that this is very systemic. What you're saying is you have to address the problem on the ground, but this problem does not start on the ground. It starts
Okay.
somewhere at the top there. Because
But here is the case: these people will say, "Oh, I didn't know anything about it, or I had
no,
no idea
everybody knows
this was going on."
No,
Because they stood there and said everybody can come here. It's obviously you don't need to pay for visa. You don't need to pay for your entry. But
yes, but
Yeah.
again, I think this is me thinking that you cannot say that you had no idea if you are in a position of leadership.
yeah,
If you know what I'm saying, you passing a law that suggests that people can move freely. you have to follow up on that. You have to know what is really going on. You need to
Yeah.
get report.
Yeah.
But how can you say that you have no idea why it's been going and then you are right there in a position of leadership? It's either you resign. You know, this is a bit like the story of the Ghanaian minister of home affairs, or I don't know what it's called. Where you do your passports in Ghana? How do you call that?
What is it called? I'm not sure.
Yes. Anyway, but Minister of Foreign Affairs, yes, Foreign Affairs. She said she had no idea that corruption was going on in her department. And one day she went on I think she went to the ministry to the passport office. She was lambasting people and talking and talking. That was after.
So who is to blame?
I
who's to
blame
blame
her.
for what
I really
was-
have to blame her.
Yeah.
Because after she made all that scene, after she made all that noise to say that and that, she went and then things kept.
The way they were.
Yes. So it's either she's part of the problem.
Or she has just neglected the department
No,
for
I
a
think
long
she
time.
is part of the problem. Then you have to go. I'm sorry, you have to go because if people cannot follow your instructions or your directive as a minister, and then they're doing whatever they want, and then you
Then
have
your
no
leadership is
control,
lacking.
then you have to go.
Okay.
Unfortunately, now we are ruled by a cabal, and these people don't really care. You know, they say and do things for the sake of saying it, for sure, but there is no action on the ground. That is
Yeah.
Africa. We've been speaking in Africa forever,
For a very
but
long time.
things are never materialized. You know, so this is where I'm a bit skeptical as well when you mentioned the free movement of people and goods, because I said yes, it's brilliant on paper.
Yeah.
You will do that, but
How is it being implemented?
Exactly.
Is it being followed up?
yeah, that's the big problem. You know.
So going back to, I know you went to different places. What are some of the places you went to in Ghana? Because to tell you the truth, I'm a Ghanaian, but I have no idea, about some major areas in Ghana, which
Yeah.
I would love to change. The next time I visit Ghana, I would like to go and just explore.
I've already done the exploring for you.
Yeah.
But in Ghana, I've been almost everywhere. Any town you can think of.
You probably know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the towns that you have no idea existed. They exist like the Amankese. Like this Asamankese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been there. I've
See.
heard Asamankese
Yeah.
growing up. I've never been to Asamankese.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
to even Asamankese. I've been to I've been in Paga, right?
What about Wa? Have you been to Wa?
That's the thing.
Wale
Wa-
Wale.
Wa. There's Wa, Upper West. I haven't been to Upper West.
Okay.
Beyond the Mole National Park. The further I went was the Mole side, Mole Park, the La Panga, and
Tell us
the
about all this.
Damango
Like,
and the stuff
I feel like I've I'm getting this feeling of when you have this fear of being missed out for a very long time.
FOMO.
I'm a Ghanaian. How on earth do I say that I don't know all these places?
No.
It doesn't even make sense to me right now.
No, I don't blame you for that.
Yeah.
Because remember, when you are a native of a place, you take
You
have
take
a
it
tendency-
for granted.
Exactly,
Yeah, you
have a
take the place
tendency
for
of
granted.
taking it for granted and saying,
Yeah.
yes, I will go.
Mm.
I was speaking to one guy in Tema, when
Yeah.
I was in Tema. So we were talking, he took me out. That was the first time. After my ordeal with the immigration,
Yeah.
when I came to Tema, so he took me around the next day. So we were talking, and I said, so where have you been? I said, nowhere. So he's born and raised in Tema. The only place he's gone to is Accra.
Accra Market. Makolo Market to be precise. Yeah.
No, I mean, he knows Accra, the town,
Mm,
like
mm.
Kokomlembe and stuff.
And that's just
Yeah.
about it.
So, and then I asked him, I said, okay, so you've got a passport? He said, yes, I have a passport. I said, okay, fine. So you live in Tema, right? Yeah. You've got a car, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And then from Tema to Togo, it's about 150 kilometers,
Yeah.
right? It's, and you've never been to Togo.
What
Yeah,
in
so
the world?
do you get what I'm saying? So, but again, I understand that is you always there, and
Yeah.
you feel like I will do it one day.
Yeah, I'll do
One
it.
day.
And
One
some
day.
don't even think about doing it.
Exactly.
This is my country. And I think the thing with me is I can tell you that I feel like the only places I needed to be is from home, just go to work,
Mm-hmm.
come back.
Yeah.
If I need something, I go to a prime market to purchase whatever I need.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just about it.
Yeah.
But there is so much to explore. And I think being a child, our schools did well by taking us out to see, some of these places like Oda and yeah, but that was just about
I've
it.
been there.
Oh, and
Yes,
how
I
was the
have.
experience there?
Oh, I think
What did you do
Akimodan is one of my favorite town
Yeah.
in Ghana. Why? Because okay, I love nature.
Yeah.
I really do. And when I went to Akimodan, people might say what they want about the place, but it was just quiet,
Okay.
peaceful.
Peaceful.
And I was right in this place here. I think it's called Green Pearl, the town. Maybe I'll send you a link so you can put it on the Green Pearl. I was in Green Pearl Hotel, and it's right in the middle of the jungle.
Whoa. How do
Yes.
people access it?
No, it's you see Odan Old Town. There's Odan Akim Odan Old Town,
Yeah.
and then there's New Town. So now when you go to what's the name of this town again? There's a town. If you mention it, I will know. But as if you live in Old Town, going that direction, there's like a forest.
Wow.
There is after the cemetery. There's a cemetery, and there's a huge forest.
Ghana is a beautiful country.
Yeah, and then now on the left side, there is like this secluded place called Green Pearl next to Premier Hotel.
Yeah.
And one thing I love with it is it was built as if it was an observatory. Like a round thing
Yeah.
like that. So when you sit on top, because
It gives you like a whole 360
Yes.
view.
you can actually do a 360 view around.
Wow.
So as you sit there in the morning,
Hmm.
oh my goodness, I would go back to Akimoto again. I loved it.
I'll keep that name in mind.
I'm
the name
telling
of
you,
it.
I'll show you
Yeah.
pictures of me.
Please,
Yeah,
please
it was,
I would really love to
beautiful.
visit the place. It's
I
almost like
loved it. I loved it. The forest was right there,
it sounds dreamy.
and it was just quiet.
Yeah.
And then you see the sun rise and you see the sun set. It's just like I'm like, do these
Guys, you
people
must
know
you
what
must
they have
visit
here?
this place. You have to
Or you have
really
to. You
make
have
the
to.
effort to visit the place because I am going to do that.
Yes.
So
yes,
yeah.
yes. I think you should visit Akimodan and it really and the Volta as well. The Volta.
Okay, what was your experience like there? Did you do any fishing? Any?
Yes. Well, I was before the Volta, before the Keita there. I
Yeah.
went to a town called Bigata.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see,
Bigata.
bigger
Bigger
than
down.
okay.
Adam.
Okay.
There's Adam 4. Adam 4. I don't know how you pronounce it. Adam 4. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there was an estuary somewhere there, like
Okay.
where the Atlantic Ocean and the Volta River kind of like merge.
Okay.
Not merge, but where they
Yeah.
meet. So I was there, and oh God, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I was on a boat. I went from Biga down to another
Yeah.
small island. Like
Now I have to go to Ghana.
it was just beautiful. It was, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. So, there we go. So,
So are those the two places that you can say that okay, these were the places that I really really enjoyed whilst in Ghana?
but I enjoyed every single town I went to had something about it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like it was just something that I love here.
Something you can take out.
Something I can
something
take out.
else.
And then there is also some other
What are
places.
the negative parts?
Hmm.
Because I mean, if we're talking about
Yeah.
the most exciting things about a
Mm.
country,
Yeah.
we have to also be genuine enough to
Yeah.
talk about the other side of the coin.
Yes.
Yeah.
do.
not in a vicious way,
Yeah.
but just to
Mm.
balance the equation.
Sorry, my Ghanaian folks, Ghanaian friends and families, but I have to say this because we are remaining very honest here.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I've found that was there are quite a few things that were negative, but the top for me was that people ask you money everywhere.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And it's like when it's one time, you're like, I don't have any money.
Mm.
But sometimes they even follow you.
Okay.
And as soon as, sorry, Ghana,
No,
but
you
as soon as
say
they
your
realize
piece.
that you are
say
not
your
from,
piece. Yeah.
you're not from Ghana,
Mm.
from your accent,
Yeah.
when they hear your accent, they know this sounds like dollars.
The dollar sign is.
You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, when they're not asking you for money, the prices go up.
Mm.
Yes, I'll give you an example. I wanted to take a bike going somewhere, and this is where Ghana taught me that if I go to Ghana or wherever I go, before I do something, before I even buy a cup of tea,
Mm.
I need to know how much it is.
Before you get there.
Yes, the reason for that being, if I get there, you tell me that, okay, that place they sell tea
Mm.
for 5 cedi. If I get there and they tell me it's 5 cedi, 50 peso, I'm like,
You wouldn't know.
no, I'll be like, okay, fine. But if they tell me that it's 10 cedi,
Mm.
then I know I'm being cheated.
Okay.
So I need to know the prices ahead before I do
Okay.
something, because that's one thing.
Yeah.
In
And
Sorry.
did that happen often?
very often,
Okay.
when they realize that you're a foreigner, if you're not with a Ghanaian, they will cheat you.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my experience. It's not
And what
everyone's
do you
experience.
think
But it's just that.
caused that, or like where do you think that stems from? Is it from poverty? Is it that people intentionally want to, scam people that they don't think are from the country?
I don't think it's intentionally,
Okay.
but I would say there are many facets to like why it
You
is
think
like
that
that.
is okay?
I think the first point is that people think because you're from outside you have it better than them
Okay.
anyway.
Mm.
Like their life is worse than yours
Mm.
just because
Just
you're
because you're
foreign.
from outside, yeah.
So now, with that in mind, they expect something from you.
Mm.
You see,
Okay.
it's a bit like, oh, you are better than me, so you need to give me something. There is that, and there is also, I would say that it's also a mentality.
Also,
When you beg once, you will beg again.
okay.
Even when you don't need, because some people are better off. They're okay, but they're still asking you.
Mm.
You know?
Okay.
And you wonder, like, do you know what problems I've got
Mm.
when you're asking me?
I also have problems.
I do have
I also
problems,
have
so-
responsibilities.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that was it. And the sad part about the money asking, as I'm saying here, is that, and I saw that it was heartbreaking, mercy. I saw it in most tourist sites that I went to, ranging from Cape Coast to Tamale or Pada or some stuff like that. You get to places where you find children.
Yeah.
When you go to tourist sites,
Mhm.
you find little children there. These children are part of, it's an orchestrated scam.
Mm. More like
And
a syndicate.
Yes, it is. Thank you. That's the term that I was actually seeking.
Mm.
It is a syndicate, and I wasn't aware of that. Hamlet, for those who watch my channel, will know
Yeah.
Hamlet. Hamlet taught me that because I was not aware of that before.
Mm.
We went to Labanga, and when we got to Labanga, we got off our bike, and then these kids come, and like, they put the sad faces
Yeah.
and like, oh, give us money, give us, help us.
Mm.
And in my heart,
And were those Ghanaian children?
yes,
Okay.
with me and children. And then, obviously, as a responsible person, you look at children like that. Your heart
Then you
melts.
give.
And then, I wanted to give. I don't really remember what, but I gave them something.
Mm.
But Kamilat told me, says, I want you to see something. Just wait
Okay.
and see.
So was it he or she? She wanted you to see what is behind.
Yes, what is behind. So,
Okay.
and she was like, okay, look at these kids. After they got the money, the kids run, they go up to under a tree somewhere
Mm.
where you find where there were two adults sitting under the tree. So these kids come and then they give them money and then they go back in bed.
Mm.
She says that's what's happening. So these children, you feel pity for them, but they are brought here to beg.
Mm.
So this is a business that they are running here.
Okay.
And then obviously they're looking at they sending children because they know you will have compassion.
Yes.
You know,
You'll
give
be more
them-
sympathetic towards the children than an adult.
That's what's happening. So basically, these kids are just running a
It's part of an operation.
It was very heartbreaking. And then from there on, actually, I never gave money again.
Yeah,
I did not.
and I think that goes to saying that they end up, you know, putting other people who really, really need this money.
Mm-hmm.
You end up not helping those people
That's
because
true. That is
you
true.
think they all might
They're
be
all
part
might
of
be,
this
exactly,
big
and I'm being
conspiracy. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
But Camila taught me something quite interesting. She's a very smart woman.
Yeah.
She said that's the problem with our society. She says, you see, at this age here, they are already taught how
How
to
to
beg.
beg.
When they grow up, when they take positions of power
Mhm.
or position of influence, they will not beg. They will
They will take.
And you know what? Mind you, it was like shells falling out of my eyes because I saw grown up doing that. Those that
Yeah.
were in position of power
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah. And
You find a police officer, and Canada had issues again. She wants an affidavit, and then she goes to them, and then they tell her, which is it's free.
yeah,
They tell her it's 400 cedi.
she has to pay that.
She-
She needed it.
This is how the kids are raised to be. And I think if Ghana does not pay attention to that now,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a failed society in the future.
I get that. And
Because
I
the crime rate is now rising.
Mm.
It's because of such things, yes.
I think you will find this kind of situation in most African countries. But
Mhm.
right now, I feel like Ghana hasn't really gotten to the worst part of
Oh,
it.
no, not
So
yet.
it's better to nip it,
Yes, well,
right? Yeah, when it's still
mm,
not such an issue.
yes.
And I think that's what happened with people staying outside of the country,
Mhm.
and their loved ones are back home.
Mhm.
Because I feel like sometimes you get a call from someone,
Yes.
and I mean, that's your family.
Mhm.
We were raised to take care of our own,
Yes.
and it's perfectly okay to take care of people that are in need,
Mhm.
but it shouldn't be like a responsibility that is
Yes.
placed on an individual,
Mhm.
that because you live and stay outside the country, it should be your responsibility to basically give and work and basically give the money to
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah.
And you find out that you have probably 15 cousins, 10 sisters
Yeah.
and brothers.
Mm.
You have aunties and uncles, and each and every person will be in your DMs, telling you what the needs are. And I mean, I'm sure you definitely help those that you're supposed to help.
Mm.
But now it has become a responsibility.
And it turns to become a burden.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, you also have, other responsibilities, whether being children, and other family members and yourself
And
to
yourself.
think about.
Mhm.
And then it becomes such an unpleasant thing to go through,
Mhm.
especially as young people.
Mhm.
So I think this is a situation that has to be relooked at, not because someone is staying outside the country,
Mhm. Mhm.
the person is well off
Mhm.
than those there. There's so much money in Ghana.
There is. But you know, to add to just what you say here is it's this is not just a endemic issue to
Yeah.
Ghana. It's all over Africa. You know, I've been to quite a few countries. Well, yeah, quite a few, quite a lot, maybe depending on. But in all those countries, this issue remains.
Mm.
The issue where when somebody is out of that country, whether it be a sibling or something,
Yeah.
they feel that you know for you to travel you have
Then
to have
it's
money,
you have to be well.
and if you have money, it is your duty. You must help them. My question is this: prior to me being out of the country, how were you surviving?
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
So and then
That's
now,
the
if something
questions we
happens to
ask.
me now, if something happens to me, how will you survive?
Yeah.
Can you try to do that? Can you try to sever the ties between you and I in terms of dependency
Mm.
and see how you will not die,
Yeah.
you know? But I think it's also it's because I won't say brainwash, but you know the mental scars
Mentality. Yeah.
of colonialism made us reliant on someone else
Someone.
to
Yeah.
help us, you
Yeah.
know. And during colonial time, it was the colonial masters has to provide. He has to provide. So
yes, absolutely.
we
So,
have to just be there and do our deeds, and then he will do that. And then we have kind of like inherited this negative trait, which has become part of who we are today.
yeah.
And I'm sorry to say it, but we have even sold our pride. You know,
That's a big thing.
I'm telling you,
That's a
because
very
you will
big
be here. I'm giving you an example. You're here, but the person who's going to be asking you money is probably an uncle,
Mm.
somebody old, very old, who has lived his life, and you'd be like, I'm supposed to come to you with my problems, but you are the one now burdening yourself on me. What are we doing?
Yeah, and one thing is, I understand very well that there might be better opportunities outside of Ghana
Mm,
for the people that are living outside Ghana,
mm,
you know. But there are also some major opportunities in Ghana
yes.
that if you strive to make something out of maybe any bad situation that you find yourself in Ghana, you'll be able to really make it for yourself and also help others.
Yes.
I believe in helping.
Mm,
I would really love to do whatever I can to help whoever I can help,
mm,
right? But it shouldn't be a responsibility.
Yes.
Like it shouldn't be mandatory
I do understand
that
what you're saying.
this is what you need to do. I
Yes.
have no problem, helping and giving out anything to anybody.
Mm,
But it shouldn't be that because
mhm.
you are there, this is what you're supposed to be
Yes,
doing.
yeah.
And I will just fold my arms and wait for the handouts to come. I want us to have a bit of like we should have more pride.
We
You
should.
know.
But besides that, also, besides the pride thing, is you find some people who complain, and then you look at their lifestyle, and then
And
you
they're
go,
better off than you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I am sending you money because you need money,
Yeah.
but you're using a newer version of phone than me.
Then exactly. Mm.
So what?
Who is in need at
You know what I'm
this
saying?
moment? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you explain that? And then you want me to send you money,
Mm.
and I send you money. The next thing I see on
You
your
have the most
status is
luxurious stuff.
no. On the status, on like the Snapchat and
Yeah.
stuff. I see you popping champagnes in
And I've
bars.
not had a glass of wine, for the past year.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand why people will find it a little bit more unsettling.
Yes, I find it quite actually a bit disrespectful as well, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm not spending money on well, I can, but I choose not to,
Not to
because I want
be
to
able
help
to
you, and then you are using it to live the life at my expense.
Yeah,
No, that's
Yeah.
I think. You see, this
I
is
think-
why for me, no,
that's what makes it a little bit more
yeah.
difficult and something to really talk about.
Yes,
You
yes.
know.
For me, I made it a point. I can help if I want to,
Mm.
and if I can,
Yeah.
and if I really see the need. You know, like for instance, you go into school
Mm.
and you really need a laptop.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, I did it when I was in Ghana.
Mm.
I was like, okay, you know what? This this guy needs a laptop more than I.
Mm.
You know, and besides, I can always have one brought back to me.
Yeah.
Took my laptop.
And give it up
Fine. You need
because
it.
you know
Fine.
they needed it,
They need
and
it.
it's going to be for a greater purpose.
That's it. You know.
You
And then
know.
I'm giving you. I'm not expecting anything
In return,
You
yeah.
know, I'm not expecting you to know yours go.
I think for me, what I'll expect for you to do with that laptop is be productive with that.
Yes,
Be
yes. Well, in
productive.
that sense, yes.
Be
So,
productive
you know,
with
we have
that.
to do something with it. Yeah. So that is it. So I think Ghana is a great country.
Yeah.
Traveling around, I saw a lot of opportunities,
Mm.
but there is no functioning structure.
Okay. In terms of
In terms of everything, in
housing.
terms of in terms of for instance, I'll give you an example. Like for instance, you see I'm seeing potential here,
Mm.
all right, and I'm saying if we can maybe plant a company here, a manufacturing company here, we can take these goods and we can convert them and we can do something. But again, there's no structure for that. No structure. Also, um,
And you
the
think
culture of
whose
corruption.
responsibility is that? Is it the government? Is it
Yes.
private companies? Is
No,
it the people, the individuals?
I think the individuals go with what the government established.
Mm.
If the government says, for instance, this is how we do things. Like I'll give you an example. If you're opening a company in Ghana,
Mm.
it's not a straightforward thing. You know
No,
what
I
I'm
get
saying.
what you're
In
saying.
other countries across the globe, you do it online. You
Mm.
just upload your documents, verification, everything. 5 minutes later on, you have a running company.
Mm.
In Ghana, it is not like that.
Okay.
Not just Ghana. I'm saying in most African countries, it's not like that. And also there is also a predatory system that is in place.
Mm.
We spoke about the passport now.
Mm.
Ghanaians are being held hostage in their own country. For those who want to come out of Ghana, you can't get a passport easily
Okay.
unless you pay a lump sum amount. You see, I'm talking about things like that. It's either there's no structure, it's either there is a structure, but it's being abused by those who are running it,
Yeah.
and then in the end, the people are suffering.
Mm.
But there are opportunities in Ghana. It is a very good country to visit and maybe spend time sometimes.
Yeah.
But for the sake of sanity, you will want to maybe, maybe share a residence elsewhere. And there is that. Oh, coming back to you were saying the negative things again there. The way prices change in Ghana.
So rapidly.
Yes, you buy something today at 5 cedi, you come back tomorrow, it's 6 cedi.
Mm.
And you say, what is the logic behind that?
Okay.
There's nothing.
Mm.
Just like that. So there's no consumer protection structure.
Yeah, I think with that it has to do with I believe the government as well. There isn't any structure in terms of like protecting consumers
Mm.
as to how much they pay for a particular product.
Yeah. Because when I was there, I think there was an issue with the dollar and the Ghana, the city. I don't know if I mentioned that again. But you tell me, all right, that you have a plantain farm,
Yeah.
all right, and then all of a sudden, the dollar goes up or down or whichever way it chooses that day, your prices go up.
Because the dollar is up, the plantain has to go up.
But why? Because it's produced here, everything you need is here,
Mm.
it's right there in your backyard, but you decide that because you want to adjust your price to the dollar, and you have to.
Don't you think somehow that could be as a result of fuel because they have to transport this
No.
plantain from the villages to Accra?
Yes, they have to. But now, even when the fuel increase in prices, the fuel increased by 20 peso.
Okay.
All right. I mean, you know what 20 peso is. So how do you explain that something goes up because the fuel went up by 20 peso? 20 peso is like it's not even, it's $0.01.
Yeah.
And then you say it's gone up, you increase the price by $2.
Which doesn't make
It
sense to
doesn't
you.
really make
Okay.
sense. Because you have to, you have to keep it certain level. But also I don't blame those people. Well, I blame them, but I realize something, and I'm sorry. It's gonna be harsh. Sorry again. Sorry, Ghana. Sorry, Ghana.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. I realize that, again, it's not a Ghanaian problem, it's an African problem in general, but because we're talking about Ghana, Ghanaians exploit each other. Instead of seeing each other as partners, they see each other as either competition or source of income. They love exploiting each other. That's one thing that I saw in Ghana, and I was not really happy about that.
Okay.
Why? Because I told you I went to a chemo down as I went, and then a hand of banana in a chemo down, a whole hand of banana, was about like 10 CD, the whole hand.
Okay.
And I was living in Tema, where 3 fingers of banana cost you 15 CD.
I know there will be transportation, there will be other people, but I think
No,
15 is quite
that was
quite high.
It is very high because if a hand of banana is 10 CD in a kilogram, and then you buying probably like a couple of tons, what you can do is bring it to Ghana to Accra and sell it for maybe a whole hand for 20 CD. It's reasonable. You've made 100% profit.
Yeah.
But you sell it for
not
200
100% because they have to now take out transportation and the people
Fine.
that were involved in.
Okay, let's just say
yeah.
100% before costs.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, before cost.
Yeah.
But he sells it for 200 CD.
Yeah.
Now the person who's buying for 200 CD end up selling 3 fingers for 15 CD. It's absurd. This is where I'm saying there need to be a control of price, and consumers have to be looked after.
Yeah.
Ghanaians have to be looked after and protected from such practices because this man wants to make quick bucks,
Yeah.
but he's ruining it. He really is ruining the economy. And mind you, this is where if you ask me, I prefer life in the north of Ghana than in the south.
Why?
Because I think there is a bit more common sense in the north than in the south.
Common sense. How so?
Yes, common sense. In the north, and remember it's the Hausas all the way to Nigeria there. You can say whatever you want about them, is they stick to basic. They really do stick to basic.
Okay.
And I found them very calm, very down to earth, and very
which is the nothingness.
Yes, those are the bananas. If you take those bananas to the north, nobody's going to buy it.
At that price,
No.
at that hefty price.
Not only that, but they will tell you, you don't sell like that. They have that humanity. I don't know, okay, everybody has humanity, but they have that care.
For each other.
To say, no, this is a bit too much. You can buy what you can. That's how they are. That's how they are. They're very, community oriented. So they are like that. And a room in Accra, for instance, somebody will give you a room for whatever price they feel like.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't take it, someone else will take it. Remember, Accra is quite big.
It's quite big.
Everybody is coming to Accra
Yeah.
for whatever reason. So if I sell it for 10 rand, 10 cities or 100 cities, and you don't take it, someone else would.
Definitely. I
You
agree
know.
with you. Somebody else would. But then now you raise the price to a point where somebody lives and works in Accra. You put a room for twice his salary.
Yeah. How on earth are they going to afford
Do you
that?
understand what I mean? So that's the point as well. Yes, of course, the price can be up, but are the income equating the rent?
Which
You know,
doesn't really
you see, so, and
make
this
sense.
person, I saw some who would rather they live in the outskirts of Ghana and of Accra, and then they have to commute every morning.
Yeah.
But then commuting is also quite pricey.
Oh yes, yes,
So
yes. That is quite pricey. So
this
I don't know
is
how people do survive.
very
with-
pricey, and the traffic.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I went to Ghana, and yeah, that's when I felt I wanted to take a taxi, and that was years ago. You know, I had to a very short distance. I had to pay 20 cedis, and before then, that distance could be like 2 Ghana cedis for that. So I was quite shocked.
Very.
You know, I was shocked,
Surprised,
and
right?
yeah, and it wasn't
Mm, mm.
what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is that, and despite all the good things that Ghana has to offer,
No,
those are the things that are really
that
not.
you think it's
It
need
was
to be
unsettling,
worked on.
yes.
And
And even if you're gonna raise rental, you at least there must be a logical incrementation. Like
yeah,
on a
yeah,
yearly basis.
yeah.
To say it goes up maybe by
10%, 2%.
seven. It's usually 7 to 10%.
Yeah.
Mm. If it's like it's a premium area.
Yeah, it's
But
normally
to
10%.
say that it was 500 last year and now it's 2,000.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a little bit.
that's.
I think the government need to do more in terms of helping the consumers.
Yes, but I think the consumers also themselves have to look out for each other. Because remember, I gave you the example about what I saw in the north there.
Yeah.
They're really looking out for each other in that sense. That
If this is the amount, then no one is buying.
no
it.
one is buying, and
Okay.
I have to sell you things that I know tomorrow you can come back and buy. That's how they are. But in the south, it's different. It's like I have to rip you off as much as I can now.
Yeah.
I don't care if you come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's.
In the north, I think they are more rooted.
Yes,
they're
are.
quite
They
rooted,
really
and
are.
they stand up for each other. Accra is more like a jungle.
It is.
Everybody
Yeah.
from everywhere is in Accra.
Yeah.
So you
Mm.
can't just reason with some of the things that happen
Yeah,
there. But yeah, so I think
Because if I was to even live in Ghana, let's say for instance, if I elected to live in Ghana, I would live in the north.
okay,
Yes.
will you be able to do everything that you want to do in the north compared to staying in Accra?
That's the problem. The problem is Ghana is a very centralized country, so
Yeah.
everything
It's
is
in Accra.
So
Yeah.
that's the problem. But if for retirement purpose or if you really want to live off the grid, off the
The
grid, I
north
go
would be the
Akimoda.
best place for you
But
to.
the north would be the best place because they're very
Yeah.
that's one thing. I'm sorry for Southerners. I love you guys, but the Northerners.
They've
they're
captured
very-
your heart.
Yes, they have. I like the simplicity of
Mm.
life. They're very simple.
Yeah.
They're not into like
And
I
I
want
mean,
to
you
drive
fit
a
in
big.
so well.
Yes.
You
Yes.
fit in so well with the north.
Yes, and I mean, I like it. They're not. I mean, they don't even want big cars.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to Accra, it's
Oh,
like
that's where you
the
see
big
the.
GMCs and
Yeah.
a 6-wheel vehicle.
That's where the life is.
The life is there. But when you go to the north, somebody has his bike and or a bicycle.
Absolutely fine with that.
That's what it is.
Yeah. How about Kumasi? Did you go to Kumasi?
Yes, I was in Kumasi. The whole Kumasi there. One thing I loved about Kumasi is Kumasi was a bit like Nigeria. Like
Really?
Lagos, sorry. Kumasi was a bit like Lagos. But Lagos is Lagos. Hey, you can't take that away from Lagos is Lagos.
Yeah.
But Kumasi was a bit like Lagos.
Okay.
In the sense that people out there were moving.
They're
Like,
always on the move.
They're always on the move.
Yeah.
And these guys they are just business oriented.
Yes,
everybody in Kumasi.
I do understand that.
You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? That's what it's like.
absolutely.
Everybody is business oriented. People are just it's business here. It's business, business, business. That's one thing I saw. It was very good, but at some point also you need a bit of quietness. You know, like you need to switch off at time. You
Yeah.
gotta have a social life. That is sadly what I saw that was lacking in Kumasi. There was not really much social life. You know, I'm talking about like
It's all
I
about
said,
work.
yes, it's all about work, business, work, work, work. It's
But
like
I think I love that.
yes,
You
it is
know?
good, but at some point you have to, you know, to say today
Yeah.
I'm resting. Not like I'm selling Monday to Monday, Monday to Monday, Monday. That is it. But I love it. I love that.
I think
people
they're
really-
hustlers, you know,
Yeah.
they're hustlers. And one thing I love about people from that side, it's almost like you get, most people will say people in Accra, especially when it comes to the dance, you find people that probably have never worked a day in their lives,
Yes.
you know,
yes,
which
yes,
sometimes
I know what you're saying.
sometimes I get offended when I hear that about my people,
Yeah.
you know.
Oje, Oje,
Ojeko.
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 Yeah.
Ojimla.
Ojeko.
Yes. Sometimes I do, not sometimes, I do get offended when I hear that, you know, that you find most people around the Gang communities not having to work a day in their lives.
Jamestown specifically.
Yeah, but those people are also like very hardworking, except for the fact that um, they have also, most of the people have also learned so much dependency, you know, which
Yes,
I feel
yes.
like, oh, today someone will come to the house and they will hand me 100 Ghana cedis,
Yeah.
10 Ghana cedis,
Yeah.
so I am sorted. Like, that is basically what I want for my life, and nothing more than that. But I believe people will be a little bit more driven around that those parts of, you know, Accra, be a little as
Yeah.
driven as, you know,
Kumasi.
the people in Kumasi.
Yes. No, I think I understand what you mean there, because there is a very sharp contrast between Kumasi and Accra when you look at it from the girls' perspective. Okay, Kumasi, they move all the time.
Yeah.
But yes, it is also, as you say there, these are your words, you know, so if you
Trust
want to
me,
crucify somebody,
I
you
have
have
been-
to crucify your sister.
No, I was born and raised among my people.
So you know what I'm
So
talking
I
about.
know what I'm saying. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying it in a vicious way,
No.
but it's something that I would love, you know, us to work on together. I would really, because I feel like there's so much potential.
Yeah. Because I mean, how do you explain some a lad, a grown up man, the whole day, you just like this, the whole day,
Yeah.
you just sitting in one place. Well, I didn't really understand the tradition there.
I want
but I mean,
some improvements in that.
yeah, so I looked at that, I was like, no, sir.
Yeah.
I didn't say it because, hey, the guy was big and tall, you know.
Were you afraid?
Hey, I'm not Ghanaian, this is not my area, and I'm,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I was just being respectful. That's something I saw. Like, it's not, you know, you have to spend at least a day improving something in your life.
Yeah.
But one thing I saw again, because some days I went to the beach and then I sat. There was this nice beach in Osu, behind the house of the chief Niai. I think it was in Niai, and there was like there's a passage
In
down
Osu?
there. No, sorry. Yes, I think.
Is it around
no,
Osu Castle?
No, sorry. Before getting to the Osu Castle, there was a jump. We're coming from Jamestown. You come
Yeah.
from Jamestown, and then you cross. When you cross Jamestown, you go down. I'm not really sure there.
When you head into Labadi?
Yes,
from
as you're
Jamestown.
heading towards the valley.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
But before reaching the castle.
Yeah,
Really before reaching the city.
yeah.
So somewhere down there, it was me,
I think Osu Kolekot is somewhere there.
somewhere there. So it was a very nice joint. Very nice. I loved it because goes
What's happening there?
down. No, the I'm talking about the place,
Oh, okay.
the bar or the restaurant.
Okay.
It's uphill, so it's like a balcony, and then
Mm.
you have the sea.
Oh.
So I sat there like for some hours, and then I was just observing
Mm.
how people go about that place. Then I see, like, again, as you say, somebody who's done nothing the whole day, and then just goes down there, and then when the fishermen come, they hand out 3 fish here, 2 fish here for families and stuff like that. That's something I saw. I was like, okay, this is a bit saddening because this.
Oh, they
because I
did
thought
say.
these people were going there to buy,
Mm.
but the men that I was.
But those people, that some of those people that you find there, they help these fishermen with their nets before they go fishing.
But no, these were like women coming to buy,
Okay.
to get and then to go cook.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think they are related somehow. I'm not
Mm.
really sure, but that was something like that. So
Okay.
yeah, but again, as you say, also some of them were happy.
Yeah. Most of the people there, especially like in Teshi, around the beach,
Yeah.
most of them help the fishermen and with their nets, just
Mhm.
about everything before they go
Yeah.
fishing.
Yeah.
So when they come back, then okay, this is your share of, the
Mhm.
produce for
Yeah,
today.
yeah. I think it might have been something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy I was with did not explain
Mm.
very well, but it was that. And there was also one sad thing that I saw there, and it was, for me, I found it very sad. That I mean, that area is a girl stronghold,
Mm.
and when you sweep down, you see the sea. These are masters of the sea in Ghana. I even thought at some point that the word Ghana came from Ga,
Yeah.
until I was told no, this is just coincidence.
Yeah.
But in Jamestown, the port behind Asher Fort
Mm.
was apparently they evicted families that owned the land for centuries, and they sold the government. I think I stand corrected. I'm not really sure. So if anybody is aware of what really has happened, they can please educate us in the comments
Yeah.
below. But one thing I understand, and it came from my tour guide, told me that it was given to the Asian. So, some Asian were building like a fishing factory or
Okay.
fishing something there. And I'm like, this is their ancestral land.
Mm.
Why do you wake up
How
one
recent
morning?
is this?
It's very recent. I think it's 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
And then you just get them out of there and then like find another place to go.
Mm.
Where do you want them to go?
They were not provided an alternative.
No, I don't think they were provided any alternative
Wow.
from what I understand. And then now the place is being turned into a port
Mm.
for fishing.
Okay.
And
And not
it's
for
not-
the locals.
no,
Wow.
fishermen are actually these big corporations.
Mm,
Big
mm.
corporations, like with people mostly from India. Sorry, from Asia.
Mm.
It was run by them, and these guys do fishing on an industrial scale,
Wow.
which means you will not be able to compete with them.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, not only they've bought your land,
Yeah.
but now they're taking your resources as
Mhm.
well. So where do they go?
And these are their natural resources.
Natural resources. I think the government should have maybe empowered
Mm.
the community.
Or the government could have, built this factory,
Yes.
employ the locals.
Employ the locals. Say the sea, because now the locals are being employed by these big
The
corporations.
Asians.
But yes, and they are being paid.
Peanuts and
Yes.
wow.
Imagine at first you used to fish,
Mm.
bring fish, and
Now someone has to
Yeah.
hand it over to
then
you.
you own it.
And that is going back to, dependency, being
Mhm.
handed what really
Mhm.
isn't.
So
Yeah.
the government has not empowered Ghanaians in that regard.
Mhm.
I think it's sad to say, but
Which
that's
I wish sooner than later the government will be doing something about it.
Mm.
The private sectors as well can also chip in and massively contribute to empowering the locals.
But I think also the Ghanaians, I love the fact that it's a peaceful nation and they are very peaceful. They're very peaceful. They really
Ghanaians
are.
are peaceful. I think
But
that you can give to them.
yeah, but I think when it comes to what belongs to you by birth, birthright.
Yeah.
You have every single right to
To
be
fight for
violent,
it.
you know,
Mm.
because you will not be sitting there and then for the sake of peace. I'm
Yeah.
a peaceful person, and you know I have things taken away from me, and then I just remain like that. No, I think somewhere
They
you
need
have
a little
to,
bit
yes,
more fire
you
to
have
to
yes, you have to,
protect their natural resources.
yes, and then make use of it as well.
Yeah.
in
Not
this-
just to take in and
yeah,
let
but
it go.
make it use of it the same way the folks who are taking it are doing it.
Mm.
That's what I think. Yes.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Mm.
That makes absolute sense. I really enjoyed this episode.
So do I. And please, my Ghanaian folks, do not stone me when you see me around. Alright, I was just speaking my truth, and I love you dearly. I
And I
love
think,
you.
yeah, sometimes when
I
you
love
are
you.
in a situation, you don't really see,
Yes, yes.
you know,
yes.
what you're going on. There is a saying that if you are sitting in your own,
Mm.
you know what I mean, you don't smell it, like
Mm.
the one that
Yes,
comes
that's
into
true.
your. So sometimes we need to listen a little bit more to be able to solve the problems that we find ourselves in.
Mm.
We might not be seeing this, but the people outside.
Yes, yes.
So
Because
yeah.
I could see it. I'm not Ghanaian. So
Yeah,
I'm coming
yeah.
there, and I'm looking at.
For us, it's probably normal. It's
Yes,
normal
it
to
is
us.
normal,
So
but you know,
yeah.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, some things are not right.
Something needs to change.
Yes.
I mean, not to say that we have to do things how everybody else
No.
is doing their things, but there are certain ways, you know, that you can do things
Mm.
for better development
Yeah.
for your own well-being. So I think this has been quite an insightful episode. I did enjoy it, and I hope you did too.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. I did.
And until next time, we will see you guys again soon. Please, whatever comments you have, leave it there and we will be sure to read it. Take care and have a wonderful day.